Good evening, everybody. I'm Christy Coloutti, the principal at Rutland Intermediate School. I am here with another segment of the Learning Lounge, and we're super excited to have folks from Rutland High School here today. I will have them introduce themselves, and then we'll begin with our segment. You go ahead, Grady.
Hi, everyone. My name is Grady Gallagher. I'm a senior at Rutland High School, and thank you for having me on.
Sure.
My name is Beth McReynolds. I'm one of the art teachers at Rutland High School. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Champagne. I'm a senior at Rutland High School.
So thanks for joining me. So we're here today to talk about the Soup Bowl for Hunger event that's going to be held at Rutland High School, and I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. McReynolds to talk a little bit about the event, and then I'll have the students elaborate on how it came to be.
Hello. So Soup Bowls for Hunger has been in existence at Rutland High School for over 20 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, it's been going on a really long time. I've been involved for the past 5. In the capacity, I teach mainly ceramics, so I've been working with students in my classes to help make the bowls, working with Art Club as our service project, because all clubs at the high school have a service project component that they participate in. So our club's main one is the Soup Bowls for Hunger, which means that students will make and decorate soup bowls. They'll get donated to well, let's see, they're donated. So people will come and purchase a ticket, and they will get a handcrafted bowl that the students have made. Area restaurants donate the soups, and all the proceeds go to our area food shelves and community cupboards.
Fantastic. So I have a couple questions. When you participate in a club at the high school, is it during the school day or is it after school?
It's after, oh, sorry.
It's an after-school activity. It depends on the day, but most clubs take place Mondays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, or Fridays.
I was just curious. I didn't know if it was like a class or, something you do. So talk a little bit, I don't know who wants to talk a little bit about, being part of this club, being part of this project, like kind of from start to finish. How has this evolved for you? I don't know.
So I joined art club my senior year. I joined ceramics my senior year. I'd been trying to get in since freshman year, but they were only able to fit it in my schedule finally this year. So I started with ceramics. I fell in love with hand building. Wasn't too good at doing the wheel, but I finally got better at it. And Miss McReynolds asked me, she was like, we do soup bowls every year. Would you like to help participate and make bowls? So I started, crafting some bowls. There's a couple up here that I've thrown. Most are glazed by other people, but this is one of the bowls that I threw and glazed. It has a little cow on the inside, but there are a bunch of other ones that people have glazed that are beautiful and that I'm very excited to see go out to our local community.
So just a little bit about the ceramic process. When you say you threw, what does that mean?
So each of these bowls takes around 1 to 1.5 pounds of clay. You first start by putting it on the wheel, centering it, making sure that everything is, even so that you can begin building up the walls. So you pull it out, build up the walls, then shape it a little bit. For all of our bowls, we had to put a little foot on the edge, and so we used a little foot maker. And then eventually, once they dry completely, you put them in the bisque kiln, they come out. You can glaze them however you want. We use mainly underglazes with a layer of clear coat on top, and then they go into the glaze kiln. And then once they come out, they're perfectly ready and food safe to use.
What would you say your biggest challenge in terms of making the bowls? What's the biggest challenge?
Definitely the first few. Centering was a little difficult, and building up the walls, it's really easy to make it either too thin or too thick, or thicker in some parts and too thin in other parts, and making sure the top edge is completely even. So I would say definitely making sure that the bowl itself looks really good once you finish throwing it is difficult.
And you talked a little bit about the glaze, right? So how is that determined? How did you choose the glazes that you wanted? And
for my bowl, I took a lot of inspiration from Vermont. I think it's known that Vermont is very mountainous. We have a lot of cows. We take a lot of pride in our cheese and our cows. And I kind of drew inspiration from that. I knew for a few of these people, looked at different springtime things or just different things that they enjoy. There's a couple up here that use bubble glaze technique, like the one in the middle. But I think it was more about people's own personalities. I think a lot of people liked showing their personalities through their artwork and through their glaze.
Nice. So Grady, how have you been involved in this project?
So I've been involved with the Rutland Environmental Club for little bit over 3 years. I
Okay.
kind of picked it up at the end of my freshman year. And I originally joined the club because I was a small fish in a big pond, and I wanted to figure out, what's stuff that I'm passionate about, what can I look forward to in my future. And one of the things that I fell in love with was environmental club, specifically how their sustainability goals, and Mr. Sabatasso really emphasizes every meeting how sustainability is the future. And so the way that this ties into this event is this year we have been focusing on sustainability, yes, but we've also been focusing on how can we make Soup Bowls for Hunger more sustainable in general. And one of the things that we have taken strides to do is we have been working with local businesses and local companies, and they have been amazing in their support for us. Some of them have donated. Can you pass me
Sure.
that? Yes, wonderful. Some of them have donated mugs very similar to these, and they are they're working to move towards more non-single-use products. And some of these bowls are a very same signature of that. We hope that these bowls are not going to be one and done use. I mean,
They're beautiful.
they absolutely are.
It's crazy, for sure. So with the environmental club, I know, what are some other projects you do as an environmental club? So you're working to support the Soup Bowl for Hungers. What are some other?
So that's a very great question. I could babble on and on.
Go for
about-
it. You have a few minutes, so.
So the big focus this year, we've kind of been working on three or two key objectives. One of those objectives that we've really been focusing on primarily is we've been trying to implement a rain garden within the Rutland High School premises.
Okay.
And I don't know how many people have been to Rutland High School, but when you come in, there's this little small area on the side by the student parking lot where in the spring, especially now, there's a lot of water buildup. And that water goes right into the sewage system, and we're looking for ways to not only make that area a little bit cleaner and make it look nicer when you first
Yeah.
come in, but we were also looking for ways to make that water go towards a good use instead of just flushing it down the drain. So what we've been working on is that rain garden. It's got multiple layers of silt, and it's going to have wood chips, gravel, various filtration systems, and on top of it is going to be a beautiful flower bed where we're going to be able to host pollinators, hopefully more than just bees, butterflies, caterpillars eventually. But that has been coming along great. We recently found out that it should be beginning to be officially constructed this summer, which is unfortunate for me because I won't be able
You're
to see it
graduating,
as
right?
much.
But you can volunteer sometime, right?
Yeah,
Like in the summer, if
I
you're
plan
not
to.
around?
I really want to see. I've been really excited to see this come to fruition. We've been a project of a small scale. We've been working on it for about 4 years, a little bit before my time, and that's come through various things like working with budgets, working with local engineers from the city itself, and just checking all the boxes to make sure we actually have the capacity to do this, and that it's not just going to be a one-year thing. It's going to be something that we put in the summer, and then it lasts, and then it lasts, and then it lasts, and it can just continually feed the environment, feed the beauty of Rutland High School, and be a very nice symbol of sustainability right when you come in.
That's awesome. That's great. So in your community service clubs, what are some things you have gained in terms of values and giving back to the community, or how has it made you feel? Just for others that may be watching and not sure if they want to join a club if they're coming into Rutland High School, or just for our community to know, what impacts have being part of a community service club has this had on you?
I think I gained a lot of knowledge about just how much went into Soup Bowls, because I had known about it, just being at Rutland High School, but actually being a part of it, I gained a new respect for the people who have done it before, all the companies who, donate soup, all the people who work the event. It's taught me to be more grateful, I guess is the best word, and it's taught me to, look out into the world with a different perspective.
Yeah, and it's hard. You're 17, 18, not sure about the bigger picture of the world and just how important it is to give back to your community. It's crazy. How about you, Grady?
Serving around Rutland High School, I'm involved in a couple other clubs.
Are you?
One of those being Key Club, and their whole focus is service to the community. And in the past 4 years, I've just gained such a big sense of the community of Rutland and how tightly woven this city truly is. I came from Barstow. I referenced earlier, I was a very small fish in a very big pond when I came up here. And I never was really exposed to the Rutland City and specifically to the community, to the people who have been supporting our progress. And serving other people has given me just a new look on what the world has to offer and how there's always something that you can do to be a better person and to better your local community.
For sure. If there was one thing, like in hindsight, in terms of this project that you could change or maybe redo, what would that look like for you guys?
I don't know if there is much that I would change. I wish I'd gotten involved in ceramics earlier so that I could have, worked the Soup Bowl events earlier, because it really is such an important event for the community. But I think that would be the one thing I would change, would just being able to be involved earlier on.
And I will kind of, to go along with the line of community, I know I've brought my own personal children there many years, and it is extremely amazing to see how many people from our Rutland City school system come and attend, local folks. I mean, there's long lines of everybody everywhere, which I think is really awesome. It says a lot about our community for sure. So from the teacher's perspective, how has this shaped you with your students, things that you give back to the community?
Yeah, I think as a club advisor and teacher, what has impressed me so much of Rutland High School students and the Rutland City community is how much they embrace projects like this. It's not hard for me to recruit students to take part in this. We make 250 bowls, and I have students coming in on Saturdays,
Oh, really? Wow.
to spend their Saturday afternoon, at school still after, a full week of school. And I don't have to beg them to do that. They gladly sign up. All of the clubs, and we just draw such a diverse group of students, and it's the best time. And I think I really want them to know that they can use their talents and skills to give back to their community. And it's fun, and it's a great value in lifelong learning.
When you're asking students to do this, do they have any criteria or like set guidelines in terms of making their bowls, or how does that whole process work?
No, I mean, if they're comfortable on the potter's wheel or they want to try it, they're welcome to try it. If they just want to decorate them, in our club, that's what we'll do, is we'll pre-make some.
Okay.
So students who maybe haven't had experience on the potter's wheel or are a little unsure if they can make a bowl, they'll come in, they'll glaze them and decorate them. And
I know one year we got a bowl, and then it had like a goanna shaped around the rim of the bowl for my daughter, and she still has it, and she's 23 years old,
I think, when I started at Rutland High School 5 years ago, that was one thing students asked me first off, are we going to do soup bowls? Are we still going to do this? And, I was at another school before that with elementary school and middle school, and we did participate and made some bowls. And I think it's just this longstanding tradition, and it means so much to our students and our community.
Do you ever seek out other schools to donate bowls to you? You just kind of triggered something, like just...
We have,
Yeah.
I think, and we would certainly like to get back to that. I think during COVID, it became hard.
Yep, for sure.
And, we had to find creative ways to keep this project happening.
Yes.
We participate with an organization called Delta Kappa Gamma, which is a society of women educators, and they're really kind of the sponsors of this event.
Yeah.
So it was like, how do we do this remotely, and how do we keep
I
these
remember that, whole
traditions alive,
drive-thrus
and
and- for
drive-through,
sure,
and the
yeah.
restaurant's still donating
Yeah.
soup. So,
Yeah.
we would love to have other schools.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Right.
The more bowls we have, the more we're giving back to our food shelves.
It's amazing. Any final thoughts in regards to the projects or the community service clubs, or any advice you would give other students that may be considering a club at Rutland High School?
I would just encourage them to do it. If you think, hey, I might like this, do it. I mean, if you don't, there's no shame, there's no harm in just saying, I thought this was for me, it wasn't. But you might find something you really, really like. I know for a fact that there are some people who never glazed bowls before, and they started doing it, and they were like, this is really fun, and I really enjoy it, and I want to take ceramic classes now. And I would just encourage people to, sign up for the club you're worried about. Do the sport you don't know if you can do that well. Like, just go out and try something. You never know what can happen.
I've got to piggyback off of what Kaylin said. She said it really elegantly, so I don't know how much more I can say to hit the nail more square on the head, but step out of your comfort zone to all those students who are looking for something new or are not sure where they belong in the world. Try something new, try something that's going to push you, and try something that's going to change you. Because if you can change yourself, you can change those around you, and that just creates a domino effect where it just spreads throughout your school, throughout your class, throughout your community, wherever you might be, however much you're willing to do something. Do something new.
You guys are rock stars, honestly. Like, you're giving me goosebumps as young adults and coming into, like, it's really motivating for sure. And I know you said, like, you had baseball or something, so you can still do sports and be part of a club to give back to the community, which is great to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. We, at the high school, a lot of our varsity sports are, we will look for ways to help the community out. I know in the fall, I'm a football player, and one of our traditions that we've done is we just go around, we plot out a map of the city, and we just go door to door and ask, do you have any food donations that you'd like to give? It's no pressure, it's, very low risk, high reward, and you meet some people who you never think you'd meet. You get that satisfaction of helping others, even though, it's hard. It's hard talking to strangers on the street. It's hard being in a new area, and it's awesome. It's awesome to do.
That's great. All right, I'll throw a little fun fact. Tell me a fun fact about each of you, so that way folks watching can get to know you a little bit. Fun fact. Who wants to start?
I guess I can start. Like I said, this is my first year doing ceramics. I really enjoy it. I plan to find an open studio when I go to college in the fall because sadly my college campus does not have an open studio. But I think ceramics is going to be a lifelong hobby now.
What are you interested in doing when you go to college?
I'm going to college for secondary education with a focus in history.
Awesome. Always looking for good teachers.
Caitlin would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Let's see, I guess I'm up. So fun fact about me is I am fortunate enough to have 2 grandchildren who are 3 and 2. Actually, my grandson's birthday's in a couple weeks. He'll be 2. So, and they're a blast.
That is a fun fact for sure.
Yeah.
How about you, Grady?
God, I feel like that's a really simple question. You just can't.
It's hard though, right?
Can't come
You
up with
put on the
something.
spot.
Yeah, it's tough.
What do you plan on doing in the fall? What do you?
I am going to be going to Norwich. I'm
Okay.
going to be majoring in mechanical engineering,
Okay.
and then I'm planning to minor in chemistry.
All right, that's a fun fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fact for
That's
sure.
a fact. Fun for some, but not for all.
I'm hoping to find some fun with it.
You will,
So.
for sure. Well, thank you guys. Any other, when is the Soup Bowl for Hunger event?
That's
Let's-
a great question. So Soup Bowl for Hungers will be on April 9th at Rutland High School. There are 2 seatings, one at 4:45 and another at 6:15. There you can go to soupbowls.org, soupbowls.org, and there's tickets available.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for everything you do for our community. Like, super impressive and very proud to be part of this experience with all of you. And thank you for coming on this show. I love getting the word out to our community. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time with our Spotlight on Schools.